Last time on MasterChef Australia.
We always say it must taste good, but today it also must look spectacular.
The amateur cooks invented a dish to inspire millions.
It's the sort of thing that you see it on a magazine cover and think, oh, yum, I want that right now.
And Mindy's creation landed her on the cover of MasterChef magazine.
My family will run out and buy thousands of copies, guaranteed.
While Alice, Wade and Ben landed themselves in a pressure test.
And this is where it gets interesting, because of you, Alice. If you do play the pin, someone's going to replace you, and that person is Bo.
Tonight,
you gaze down into a challenge that is progressive to the point of near madness. This is hell.
two-hatted chef Grant King sets the mother of all challenges.
Get ready and good luck.
They're going down a deep, dark hole.
For Wade and Ben, it's the ultimate fight to keep their MasterChef dream alive.
I hope it tastes good because it doesn't look very good.
But will Alice use this final chance to play her immunity pin?
If you use it, Bo takes your spot.
Yesterday was a pretty bad day in the kitchen for me. I cooked one of the worst 3 dishes for the MasterChef Magazine Challenge.
To me, it just doesn't cut it in any way.
As a result, I'm now placed in a pressure test alongside Alice and Ben. It's really important that I win today simply because finals week is just around the corner. I keep thinking I need to hold on for that last extra little gasp. I really want to get to that finals week.
It's my first pressure test, so I'm a little nervous. If I go home today, then I go home to no job and no real idea of what I'm going to do next, to tell you the truth. Be fighting tooth and nail in this pressure test to stay in the competition, but so will the other 2, so it could be me that goes home.
Last night I came home and I had a whole bunch of letters from my students, and they all said that they hope that I win and that they really, they watch me every night. I do still have my pin and I do still have the option of using it, but that means that I'll have to send Bo to the pressure test.
So what do you think Alice is going to do today? Hand in a pin or put you into elimination? Or?
Honestly, I don't think she's going to use her pin.
What would you do, Kyla?
I'd probably end up using my pin.
I would definitely hand in my pin. Yep, undoubtedly.
Well, 3 black aprons, you know why you're standing here, because yesterday in the invention test you produced the 3 least impressive dishes. It wasn't your best work, we know that. And I think you know that too. By the end of this week, 3 people are going to leave this competition.
Alice, we've got some business to take care of, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
Today's an elimination day, and this is your last week you can use the pin before finals week. Now, we know the situation. If you use it, it means Bo takes your spot. What's going through your mind?
A lot of things went through my mind last night. I had received some parcels from home, and one of them was a whole bunch of letters from my kids from school, which is something that I did not expect at all. And
What did they say?
Every single one of them said how proud they were of me and how much they wanted me to win and how excited they were. And every time that I read these letters, every time that I read the words, "We hope you win, we hope you win," it reinforced in my mind that I had another lesson to teach them.
What's the lesson?
The lesson is that you can still win without stepping on other people. I will not be using my pin today. I'll be cooking.
Admirable. Well done.
There's still a few kids in the class going, "No! Use the pin, goddammit!"
They'll understand one day.
Bo, how are you feeling?
Really good, actually. It's a very brave thing to do.
It is.
And I mean, if she pulls it off, she's into the finals. So I look up to her.
Every pressure test is a bit like bungee jumping. You throw yourself off a very high, scary place into the unknown, and for two of you, you ping straight back into the competition. For one of you get to the bottom and you drop straight out. What I'm sorry to tell you is that as you stand there with your toes over the edge of the precipice gazing down, you gaze down into a challenge that is technically terrifying, incredibly demanding, and also progressive to the point of near madness.
Are you really sorry to tell us that, Matt?
To set the challenge today, we've invited a mate of ours from Sydney who opened his first restaurant a year ago. It immediately got 2 hats. But then he'd won 3 previously when he was working at Pier. He is, from Gastro Park, Grant King.
I'm Grant King, head chef at Gastro Park. I've been cooking for 20 years now. What defines me as a chef would be a plate that's exciting, textural, great balance of flavours, the old world and the new world, and a lot of fun. Something that people have had before, but maybe not like this.
Grant, welcome. It's kind of safe to say the food that you cook at Gastro Park is not grandma's stews, is it?
I'd hope not. Otherwise, people would be going to grandma's house and steal that.
In terms of what's under that cloche, what sort of hell are you going to drop these 3 into?
A lot. They're going down a deep, dark hole.
Thanks, Brad. That's great.
Get ready and good luck. So the dish we have today, guys, best of luck.
Oh, wow.
This is crispy scaled snapper, textures of calamari, smoked potato puree, and its own ink sauce.
Oh, okay. Scary stuff.
Wow.
We've got the crispy scaled snapper with the calamari crackling, confit calamari, seared calamari, the ink potatoes, coddled in calamari ink, and the ink sauce.
Grant, let's maybe just break it down for a second. Let's talk about that fish, because it's got an interesting preparation to it in terms of leaving the scales on there.
Cook it like a normal piece of crispy skinned fish. Before you cook it, we're just gonna lift up the scales, let them sit for a minute or 2. It doesn't matter if you lose some.
All right, guys, I think you want to have a closer look. Step forward.
This is the sort of thing that if it came to me in a restaurant, I would take a couple of minutes just to look at it and just to admire it.
All right, guys, time to taste.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Awesome.
Wow.
I think for me this dish is so exciting because it is a science experiment, and science is what I do. It's taking the rules of food and bending them and pushing them and finding out what else we can do.
That's cool.
That is so cool.
That ink dressing is awesome. I was expecting those scales to be really tough.
A lot of people do. A lot of people still sometimes leave them, but it's kind of like the crispy prawn tail from the teppanyaki.
Don't you love this? We start in the competition and you make quiche Lorraine. You get to the end of the competition and you do Grant King's beautiful crispy snapper. Set to test you. You have 2 hours and 45 minutes to reproduce that beautiful dish. And you need every minute of it. Remember what's at stake, and every minute counts. Your time starts now.
Go, Benny! The pressure test today is to recreate Grant King's signature snapper dish.
This is probably the hardest pressure test we've had. Technically, it's nearly impossible. We haven't seen techniques like this before.
The dish is extremely daunting and it's going to be very, very difficult, but that's what actually makes it worthwhile doing. It's exactly what I sort of hoped I would learn how to make when I decided to come on the MasterChef journey. So really, really happy that we're doing it today. I'll be following this recipe 100%. Yeah, there'll be no tweaking at all.
First, I need to make the calamari crackling. That involves getting the tapioca, water, some bonito flakes and some fish sauce. Mix in some squid ink and get that simmering away for about 40 minutes.
Alice, you might want to give your tapioca a bit of a stir. Just make sure all the white's incorporated with the ink.
Calamari crackling is something I've never done before, and I'm not entirely sure what to look for. The calamari crackling is something I would probably consider doing in my science class. It looks like the blob. It is the most bizarre thing to have to work with in a kitchen. It's quite thick. I hope it tastes good because it doesn't look very good. So is that how it's meant to be at this point? That's, for me, that's unbelievably thick and gooey.
You're going to dehydrate this and fry it. So if that's any wetter, that's water content that we're going to have to evaporate out of it. It's meant to be thick and gluggy. That's exactly the nature we want.
Okay, seared and confit, clean calamari. Cool.
Next thing is preparing the calamari for cooking later. You need to make sure the skin is cleaned off it because that can make it quite tough.
So they got a confit one and then they've also got a seared one.
I have to freeze one of the tubes so that I can slice it into the calamari spaghetti for confitting. After you. And the other one I have to score and put in the fridge to sear later.
Well, Grant, you said a tough one, didn't you? And he should do, because this is the pointy end of the competition. A lot at stake. Somebody's going home, and I hope for Alice's sake it's not her, because she could have played that immunity pin, stepped out and looked on from upstairs. It would have been brilliant. You know, I reckon who's going to find it hardest is Ben. I don't see Ben as a motorer. He doesn't move, he doesn't have any nervous energy. He likes a particular style of food, and I reckon this is really fancy stuff for Ben. I reckon Wade, he's really organised. He's a bit military in his approach to a recipe. And I reckon Alice, you know, she's got some go about her. That nervous energy, you know, she's always, you know, running about, and I think she'll do quite well.
My only concern with Alice is sometimes, you know, she'll freestyle. That's the way she likes to cook, which is great, but I think you need to follow a fair chunk of this recipe.
It needs more scoring, I reckon.
How fast do they have to go to get the recipe done in 2 hours and 45?
They need to be motoring, you know? I'm looking at them now going, come on, guys.
Not fast enough?
There's a lot to do, isn't there?
Okay, Alice, don't waste too much time on it, darling.
Yeah, cool. Done skis.
So you're getting onto your ink sauce now, mate?
Yep.
Okay, ink sauce. The first thing that I do to get onto the ink sauce is sweat off all my produce.
Watch those fingers, Alice.
I'm watching.
Have you got your lemon in it?
Yes, 1 strip. 3 basil stalks.
Smelling good, Wade.
Wade's doing well.
Wade is in control. He's amazing.
Just put in the squid ink. As you can see, it's awesome. Basically, just need to cook this off for about 5 minutes. From there, I'm going to add my stock and basically reduce that down by 1/3.
Wade is up the front and he just seems to be cruising through this. He's the master of pressure tests and he works very methodically, so he's doing a great job.
You found Nemo, Wade.
How you travelling, Benny?
Yeah, good, mate.
Give me a boost. You told me from the start, but he's going to work slow.
I think he needs to get a bit more active. Come on, Benny. Keep moving, because time will creep up on you.
Step on it, Alyssa.
Yeah. I'm reducing that by 1/3 now.
Get onto your tomatoes now. You need them de-seeded.
Yep.
Cored and de-seeded.
Show me how quick you can do it.
Not about speed today, mate.
I think it might be in the end. You've got a lot to do.
Half an hour into the challenge and I really am not considering time at all today. It's about following the recipe and trying to do everything as best as I possibly can.
You got to move, Benny. I think he wants to make sure everything's perfect, but I just want him to get going because if he doesn't get a dish on the plate, doesn't matter what he's got perfect.
It's snapper time.
That is one big fish, Alice. It is monster snapper.
I, of course, get the biggest snapper of the day. If I were to catch this snapper, I probably couldn't even lift it up. It's huge.
Look at the size of that thing.
Remember, nothing we do in the MasterChef kitchen is on a small scale. 2 hours to go.
Need to get in under there.
She's hacking.
Don't stab it at Alice. Use the blade.
I look over at Alice and she's absolutely butchering that fish.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I start to panic because I feel like I've only got 2 chances to get this right.
She's going to cut an arm off.
This is my practice side. Oh, look. Let's do that again. And so I turn the snapper over and realise that I've got one more chance and I need to get this right.
Watch your fingers. Oh my God. She's gonna cut those bloody things off. Oh, Alice, be careful, darling.
Come on.
You got 2 hours to go.
Alice. She's butchering through everything. She's panicking.
Grant, would you mind sort of giving me some pointers?
Just go in here.
Okay.
Be very careful.
There's no possible way that you can talk someone through filleting a fish.
Looks a bit cack-handed. No, don't like it. Means I've got to show everybody, doesn't it? But basically what you want to do is you want to go in here, and I'm not going to do it for you, but keep your knife on here and work your way along.
Yep.
And then you want to start working along that bone.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, Alice, you can do it.
Oh, yes.
Keep the knife flat. Alice, one stroke.
Much better.
Ew. Hideous.
I've never seen anything that bad. Man, I felt sorry for that fish.
Goodness gracious. Definitely not the prettiest fillet I've ever done.
Let's move on.
Yep.
Was that your tapioca going off?
Yep.
Once the calamari crackling is cooked, you need to get it into the thermomix.
Oh, yeah.
It says blend until 3/4 of the beads have been blended.
This is going to be hard, this bit.
Just want to check. I'll prepare that in probably about 40 seconds.
Yeah, it'll work. It's probably just a touch too much. So, guys, you need to get your calamari crackling rolled out and in the oven on 85 degrees, as the recipe says, yeah?
That tapioca gloops together like nothing I've ever seen. It looks like sludge. It looks like something out of Ghostbusters.
Jesus. Whoa. This stuff is amazing.
Looks like flag glue.
Very funky. Yeah, funky's probably the only way I can describe it. It's very strange. Having fun, Ben?
It's definitely more of a science experiment than cooking. It is the hardest thing I've ever dealt with to cook. It sticks to the spatula, it sticks to the baking paper, it is chaos. Jeez, I don't know how someone could come up with this.
Help.
Mate, what I'd suggest, you get your mat onto the bench.
Okay.
Smear it out on there,
Yep.
even if you get some cling film on top, smear it out so it's nice and evenly thin. Then
Okay.
put it onto your tray.
Yeah. So what happens when it's too thick?
Well, it's going to take a lot longer to dry,
Yep.
and it's just going to be too heavy. It's not going to puff up the same.
I definitely think the calamari crackers will be difficult because there's so many processes in the steps. And, you know, if that paste isn't as thin as possible when it's baked, you're not going to get a beautiful, just crisp and crunchy cracker like they had.
You gonna get onto your fish soon, Benny?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
It's simple. Cook the perfect piece of fish and you'll be off the hook. An hour and a half to go.
Come on, Benny.
An hour and a half to go, and the other two have filleted their fish already, but I know it's an area I can make up some time because I fillet fish quite regularly and I'm quite confident in doing it.
Nice one, Ben.
Does that look like it's reduced by half to you?
Looks good. Trust yourself.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Wow, that looks good.
That's
that black silk.
Stunning.
Okay, ink sauce is done. The next thing I'm doing is getting onto the potatoes.
I'm just bringing my potatoes up to the boil. As soon as they've started boiling, I'm going to move on to my ink potatoes. If I keep going the way I'm going, I reckon I'm the top 8. I reckon I'm doing all right. I'm actually feeling really calm. I've learned that if you stick with the sheet and you follow the steps, everything else will fall into place.
He's an absolute machine. Wade is absolutely smashing through this pressure test. He's so focused. He knows exactly what he's doing. As long as he doesn't get complacent, he should be right on track. Give that pan a really good shake, darling. Beautiful.
Add ink and shake vigorously. The key with the fondant potatoes is making sure to agitate the pan every now and then because you don't want them to stick to the bottom of the pan. I pop the pan in the oven and then I move on to my calamari.
Go, Wade. Beautiful.
That'll do me. That'll do, calamari, that'll do.
Gotta love her.
How you going, Ben?
Nowhere near where I should be, but pretty normal.
Get onto your potatoes. He needs to hurry up.
It's painful. Come on, mate.
I've never seen Ben work like this before. I think he's deliberately trying to give me a heart attack.
It's all right, Andy.
He's working so slow. I want to jump over the balcony and shake him up. You gotta move, Benny.
Pretty much just an hour, guys.
Ben,
George.
are you in a good place?
Probably not.
What do you mean, probably? I don't get it. You're in charge here.
I don't know because I've never made it before, so I don't know where I'm meant to be at this time.
You've got an hour left, though. You haven't got your mesh on yet?
No, not yet.
All right, let me just tell you, at this point in my kitchen, I'd be sticking a boot that far up my chef's backside to get them moving, right?
Yep.
And I know I can't do that to you. What we're trying to say is, come on, save yourself.
Yep.
Get back into the competition.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear probably can't or never done it before. Just go for it.
I'm working the hardest I can possibly work, mate. I've got lots of things on the go. And
Multitask. Your mash should be on by now.
Okay.
Come on, Ben. Let's go, big boy. Yeah?
Yep.
Come on.
For me, the kitchen isn't a stressful place. I hate the kitchen when it's stressful. I cook because I love to cook and it de-stresses me. There's a way to get me back on track and get me working faster, and the way George tried it is not the way. If you were in my kitchen, I'd kick you up the arse right now. That is of no help whatsoever.
I don't know if they're meant to be chopped, Benny.
Oh no, it just says peeled and chopped, mate, so I thought I'd peel and chop them, mate.
Oh, lover's tiff. Is that a bit of a lover's tiff, do you think?
I'm not going to say anything for the rest of it. I'm worried for Ben. He's ticked off. But, man, what if he gets to the end and there's no dish on the plate? I can't watch this anymore.
What's wrong, Ben?
Nothing, mate.
Tell me what's wrong.
Nothing's wrong. I'm just trying to work my way through this as best I possibly can. No, I was having fun.
Having fun.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're having fun, but I also want you to stay in this competition.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
And at the moment, you're just a bit all over the shop. Compared to everyone else, you haven't got your mash on yet.
Yep.
Okay, so you've got less than an hour to go. What I'm trying to say to you is gather your thoughts, put that fire back into your face, right? Because at the moment I look at you and I'm going, the guy's not going to make it.
Yep.
And I want you to make it.
Yep.
You hear me?
Yep.
All right? I want to see that fire in your face and I want to see you go for this. Yeah? Yep. Okay? So come on, fire up and go for it. You hear me?
Yep.
Yes?
Thanks,
Because you're staying here. You're not going anywhere. You hear me?
Yep.
I think I'm getting emotional because to think that someone who you've idolised and looked up to has your back and wants to support you and get you through this is a great feeling. To see that belief in his eye and that determination and is what makes me think, well, now I can't let George down and I need to work a lot harder.
Come on, Benny. Come on, Ben. Let's go, Benny.
Go, Benny.
Come on, Benny.
I'm just about to start with my smoked potato puree.
For the potato puree, I need to mix some smoked butter and some smoked creme fraiche together to create a beautiful, creamy, smoky mash.
30 minutes to go.
Come on, Wade. Come on, Alice. Come on, faster.
Don't overwork it, dude.
Half an hour to go and I'm a little bit worried about Wade's progress. Wade.
Yep.
Leave it. I think Wade has just got really complacent. He was ahead of where he needed to be and then suddenly he got relaxed and there is no chance to relax. Come on, Wade. He's taking his time. He's got so much to do and I'm starting to drill him to get a move on. Wade.
What?
Move, come on.
How are those potatoes going?
My greatest fear has come true.
The potatoes have stuck to the bottom of the pan, which sucks.
I struggle with the snapper, and now I struggle with the potatoes. I could be in trouble. I really could.
All I can do is just try and get them off.
Come on, Alice. You can do it, darling.
Gentle, Alice.
Yay! They're not as pretty as Grant's by any means. All I can do is just keep going and hope for the best.
20 minutes left. I'm going to give myself about 10 minutes to plate, so now it's time to start cooking all the different elements.
Key thing with this is having a really hot pan and hoping it curls the right way.
Nice, mate. And you've got to do your confit calamari?
Yep. Confying is cooking something in oil at a low temperature for a long period of time. So the calamari will go in for 8 minutes.
Wade, get that in now.
Yeah.
The fish portions are tiny. They're really crappy, so I think I'm just going to have to really bank on cooking them perfectly. That's all I can do.
Alice's fish, I think, might be to her detriment, unfortunately. She just didn't field it very well, and the portions, I'm not sure if she did it quite right.
So 1 to 2 minutes on the skin, on the pan, and then 1 to 2 minutes in the oven.
Cool. The snapper is cooked to scale side down, so the scales really crisp up.
Nice work, Wade.
With the scales, what were you saying about pulling them back?
Find the grain and pull them back like that.
Ah, calm with you now. Yep, cool.
It's time to cook the fish, something that I'd normally be quite confident with, but I've never cooked fish with scales combed up like this.
15 to go, mate. Just leave it, leave it, leave it.
There's a process that Grant does called kissing the fish. It's simply flipping the fillet over.
Oh, yes.
So the flesh side goes down on the pan, leave it there for literally 5 seconds and then get it out to rest.
Beautiful,
Nice.
mate.
Looks awesome.
I just feel like this fish needs a little bit longer to actually cook through, so I'm just going to pop it back in the oven for another minute.
Wade, that heat's still on under that fish.
Right, get your crackers in, mate. 12 to go. You got to start powering now.
Yep.
Just throw it in.
So you've got to deep fry that, yeah?
Yep.
Go. Oh, nice.
Nice thin pieces, huh?
Oh, that was good, mate.
Ben's crackling's looking great. Wet, evenly puffed, whereas some of these guys have had a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Their crackle's not really puffy and crispy.
I think Wade's over-blended his, and when you do that, it's easy to over-dry it. And sometimes it's very uneven when you fry it.
These crackers suck. I hate you, cracker.
See, Ben's is really thin. That's unreal, Ben.
Plates now, mate.
This challenge is all about plating, and you should be starting now. 5 minutes to go.
Nice, mate.
Wade,
Yeah?
honestly, move, come on. You got to get some stuff on the plate, baby.
Looks good,
Go,
Benny.
Benny, looks great. Nice, Alice.
Fish, potatoes. Wade, don't even clean that plate, come on.
Ball breaker.
Oh my God.
Mate, get it on the plate.
You've got 1 minute left.
I'm going through my checklist to work out what's missing, and I see it. Seared calamari, the one I prepared, put in the fridge ages ago.
Pan. I need a pan.
He's forgotten his calamari.
I've got to get that cooked with about 30 seconds to go.
Crank up the heat!
Wade, I've got a hot pan. Do you need it?
Yep. Where is it?
Come on, Wade! Let's do it!
Race over, put the calamari down, leave it for about 15 seconds.
Wait, get everything else on first. Go, Wade!
Come back. I don't even use gloves, just grab it straight out of the pan.
Be careful, be careful.
Come on, Wade, you can do it.
10 seconds.
Come on!
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. The pressure test is over.
Well done.
Good job, guys.
Good work. That's really good.
Good job. Nicely done, Alice.
Waiter! Hey,
No.
you shake your head and
No.
you come back every
No.
time.
I was in such control for the entire challenge. I'm kicking myself that I've made such a basic mistake.
A lot at stake with this elimination. We're at the pointy end of the competition. Tough dish set by you, Grant. And I'm sure it's going to be tiny details that separate each contestant. Only thing left to do is get them in and taste them and see who's cooked the best dishes.
Let's do it.
Wade, happy?
I am now. Not before, but
Had a
I
little
am
bit of
now.
a spat earlier.
Yeah.
Didn't want to speak to the other contestants.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Look, I think I was just annoyed at myself for making such a simple mistake
And
after
what was the mistake? Tell us.
just not doing the squid soon enough, not doing that, searing that squid at the last minute. I had everything in place. I made a really conscious effort of having my workstation set up so I could assemble everything, have everything laid out.
Yep.
And just, went through the checklist and I thought I had it and just skipped over it. And
All right, well, let us taste your dish.
thank you.
Grant, this is your dish. Comments on the presentation?
Slightly different. I mean, look, the basics are there as far as ingredients, but placement's a bit out. The crackling itself, I can tell before even eating it, it's not going to be what we want to eat.
Yeah.
Over-blended. There's too many of the beads have gone too smooth, so we're not getting that little puff that we're after. However, the black potatoes, the mash, the sauce, it's all looking good.
Shall we taste?
Let's see.
Right, let's taste.
Wow. There's some things that Wade's done really, really well. That black squid ink sauce is a beautiful balance. It's not dominated by the white balsamic. It's got some really meatiness to it. I love the fine strands of calamari. They're beautifully cooked. And there's a gentle smokiness to the potato. It's got a good mash flavour to it.
I think the fondant potatoes are a real success. You know, he's cut them beautifully. They're cooked beautifully. A wonderful job. I think all of his potato elements are fantastic.
Yeah.
However, this dish is crispy scale snapper, and the scales that I got were soggy and like eating.
Soft glass.
The wafer is glassy, it hasn't puffed up. It should be like a lovely prawn cracker, and he's undercooked the major bit of squid. So 3 really good elements, 3 not so good elements. Grant?
Yeah, I'd have to agree on all parts.
Right, let's get the next dish in. Alice, are you going home today? Big call not using your immunity pin.
Yeah. It seems like a big call, and I guess it would make sense for people to use their pin, but for me, it definitely didn't make sense, and it wasn't a big call. The pin for me is about the achievement, and I feel like having it on my apron is a reminder that I have achieved great things and that I still have more great things to achieve. So I think that the longer I can keep it, the longer I have that reminder, the better.
Let's find out if you're going home or you're staying. And that comes down to the way that dish tastes. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you, Grant.
Right, what do you reckon in terms of presentation? Grant?
It's not too bad. The crackling's a lot better. Calamari looks a bit overcooked. Minor styling problems, I think.
And I like the fact that all those scales are sitting up and looking crispy. For me, that's sort of what the dish is about, and it's good to see.
It looks much cleaner than Wade's. There's a separation between each one of those techniques and ingredients. I don't mind that. Should we taste?
I'd love to.
They overcook, Grant. They look really light, don't they, those potatoes? The bone.
I think weaknesses is the potatoes, overcooked calamari, fish, a little bit over again, unbalanced on the crisping of the scales. Seasoning's a lot better on the cracker.
I got a good piece of the cracker, so it was a little bit bubbly and you know, as soon as you bit into it, you got that crispiness and deliciousness. The fondant is well overcooked. You know, it's quite hollow inside and a bit caramelised on the outside. Mashed potato, good smoky flavour, but yeah, not a bad job.
Yeah. The piece of fish that I've got is not overcooked. It's translucent, it's soft. The problem with snapper bones is they're really dangerous. That one's a nasty little fella, so...
It's a fang.
Lucky I found that.
Ben, your first pressure test?
Yeah.
Love it or hate it?
Love it. It was great. When I saw the cloche come off that dish, I was really, really happy. It's the kind of dish that I joined the competition to learn how to cook. I remember watching in past series thinking, look how far these people have come, they can plate up something like that. And that's why I wanted to be part of this.
How do you feel now you're looking at that?
I'm so proud of myself.
Well, it looks great.
Thank you.
Now it needs to taste great.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's a pretty fine-looking version of your dish, isn't it?
It's outstanding. The difference in those potatoes, look, they're glistening, they're shining, they're big, they're bold. The crackling's puffed out a lot more even. Everything about that is really great. You know, the sauce is glossy, the mash is smooth, it's holding well. The scales on that fish are very even, not just the crisp, but the way they've been pulled back. Yeah, I think every component of that looks great.
Sometimes in the kitchen, the penny drops, doesn't it? You get an apprentice or a young cook or whatever, just the penny drops and they
That's
change.
it, and they start running.
And maybe the pennies dropped.
I'm hoping that tastes amazing because it looks spectacular. Yeah. Shall we find out?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Like licorice.
Crispy scales.
Oh, listen to that sound.
Mash is fantastic.
This is the first of the dishes that's actually had that lovely, crunchy, crispy scale on the top. But when you bite into it, you go, I'm eating scales, and then you go, oh my goodness, that's all about texture.
You know what he's done brilliantly is he's just got the fact that every single element on the dish has a texture of its own, like the little soft fondants, the crispy scales, but also that caramelisation around the fish, that lovely puffy wafer. He's just sort of nailed it, really, hasn't he?
That is a beautiful dish. You should be very proud.
I am. He's, 100% justice there, eh?
You know what I love about a tasting like that? Is number one, somebody, and we know who it is, put a dish up that Grant is very happy with.
Indeed.
And I like that. And it makes our decision a little bit easier because now we've got to pick out of two. We've got to pick between Wade and Alice in terms of who's done the better job.
Well, Grant King, thank you so much for bringing us, I think, probably the most difficult pressure test we've seen this series. We look forward to seeing you back here in the MasterChef kitchen next year. Thank you very much indeed.
Pleasure. Thanks again. Thanks. Cheers, guys.
This has been, I think, probably the toughest pressure test that we've set so far this series. Ben, the positives of your dish looked spectacular. George, I think, reckoned that was one of the best mashes we've seen in the MasterChef kitchen, and it had that lovely salty smokiness we were looking for. The scales were perfect. You did a beautiful job today, Ben, and you're safe. Well done.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
So, Wade, Alice, it comes down to the two of you, and it comes down to the dish you cooked today. Wade, what we loved was the smokiness of your potato. The sauce was, I think, the best of the three squid ink sauces, and your little curls of calamari were beautifully cooked. But on the downside, by putting those curls on top of your crispy scales and your snapper, the scales went soft and flaccid. And the wafer needed to be all puffy, and it was glassy. Alice, good things about your dish. Scales standing up, proud, what we wanted to see, and we love the flavour of your wafer. You also got more puff on your wafer than Wade, but on the downside, you overcooked those little potato fondants, and also there's a big spiky bone in Gary's fish. One of you still has the potential to be Australia's next MasterChef. But for the other, your time in the MasterChef kitchen is over. Alice, the question is whether the big risk you took in not playing the pin paid off. Alice, you're safe, you're still in the competition. Wade, I'm sorry, the adventure's over.
Thanks, mate.
Wade, I'm sorry, mate.
It's what it is.
Really, the decision came down to one thing. A bone is a serious problem in the kitchen, but the dish was crispy scale snapper with the squid wafer. And because the wafer wasn't puffy, the dish was no longer the dish it needed to be.
Yep.
And that's the reason why you're going home.
Wow. It's funny actually waiting for that decision. I was actually just sitting there thinking, it's time. If it's time, you know, and I'm fine with that. And I actually feel good about that. It's, yeah.
Let's look back at what you've cooked. and those successes. The first thing that springs to mind is that dish you put up for Marco Pierre White, that little Brussels sprout salad. It was delicious.
Genius.
Yeah. Do you love it?
Delicious.
Do you love it?
I love it.
I love it.
In Rome, you two, fantastic gnocchi dish for Massimo Bottura.
The balance of the dish was perfect. So, congratulations.
Wade, it's time to say goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for everything. Come here.
Good luck, Wade. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Yeah. And I'll see you soon.
Yeah, so will. Yeah. I'll start putting it together.
See you guys. Leaving the MasterChef kitchen for the last time. I'm actually really excited about what's going to happen next. I think one of the biggest regrets I've had in this whole competition is actually not having become a chef when I was 17 when I had the option. You know, it was something I sort of thought about but got talked out of, so I think I'm going to follow up on that now.
Alice, Ben, you deserve to be smiling. Big congratulations for surviving your first pressure test. You live to fight another day. The bad news is that tomorrow, everyone faces an elimination.
So we get a little bit of this first.
I don't think I've been this nervous on an arrival ever, because you don't know what happened in that tasting room. It'd be absolutely shocking for me to lose, Ben, at this time of the competition. We obviously want to make it as far as we can. I'm worried. I can't deny it.
By the skin of my teeth. It's very good to be home, and I definitely didn't think I would be back here, especially after the judges' feedback. I thought I was totally going home. Still in way too much shock for it to actually absorb. So now that I'm here and that it's real, wow. Wow.
If Wade had put calamari 2 centimetres over, he'd be here and
He'd be shattered.
Alice would be going home.
Mother first.
Being on MasterChef, I think, has really made me appreciate how proud my family are of what I want to do. I think that sort of really reinforced to me how much they want me to be happy in life.
Very proud of him, aren't we?
I don't know.
Yes, we are. We're very proud.
And I think food is going to make me happy, and it's something I need to move into. Thank you. Cheers.
Next time on MasterChef Australia.
1 week before the finals week. You ready?
8 amateur cooks pit their skills against the experience of the legendary Kylie Kwong.
You've been cooking for how long?
38 years.
It's an all-in elimination that will put them through their culinary paces.
The first round is about keeping up with Kylie.
And in the second round, their imaginations will be tested with 8 lucky ingredients.
I can't wait to see what you do with them.
But with 3 immunity pins still to be played, for 5 amateur cooks, the stakes could get a lot higher.
Mindy, Alice, Kylie, this week's your last chance to use the immunity pin.
It's kind of scary because I don't know whether they're going to use it today.